Well, a very good afternoon and welcome to Oakham in Rutland in the East Midlands, where this afternoon's round 2 NatWest Schools Champions Trophy game sees Oakham School taking on Clifton College for a place in the quarterfinals. Great to have your company with us as always here on the live stream on englandrugby.com and across the internet and across the world. Oakham, of course, who beat Berkhamsted in round 1, with Clifton getting a bye into round 2, so this will be a great chance to see how they're looking in the competition this year. We've already seen 4 teams into the quarters already. Monmouth School, of course, who went through on a bye to that round, and then Epsom College, well, they had a strong win at home against St John's Leatherhead. Eton College, well, they blew away 2014 finalist Grammar School at Leeds, and finally Blundell's, who put in a great performance to see off Bristol Grammar School. Clifton today, well, they will be hoping to salvage some pride for the Southwest. So the teams have been out warming up on the pitch over the last few minutes. There's a fair breeze coming across from right to left, but they've been practicing the kicking and the big hits with the forwards, and the 2 coaches have been watching on, and it provided us with an opportunity to catch up with how they're feeling ahead of kickoff, starting with, from Clifton College, Matthew Salter. Well, delighted to be joined by Matthew Salter of Clifton College. And Matthew, well, you guys got the bye through round 1 and then a draw away, where you would have probably liked to have had that one at home here at Oakham. What did you make of that draw as it came through?
Well, obviously it's one of the longest trips possibly that we could have had. However, what I think is nice about this competition is it's possibly playing schools you never really play, and I think when we drew them out of the hat, there were some local games, which was BGS Blundell's, which have already played each other this season. So for us to play a different team, and a team that are doing well at the moment, they've played one team that we played in pre-season, so that's the only comparison we've got, but it looks like a pretty level playing field, and maybe the home advantage will be something that tells, but to play someone different is really nice about this competition, something we look forward to.
Yes, absolutely. What are the boys looking like? How are they getting a run out ahead of this one?
Yeah, so far we've been pretty good. I'd say our fixtures tend to start slightly easier in the beginning of the season. They get harder as the season builds up historically, different some years, but so far we've been unbeaten, which is similar to Oakham, so 2 unbeaten sides. One will possibly, or not necessarily lose that, but could try count back today. So I think this is sort of a very interesting fixture for us, and it's quite hard to compare because of obviously different schools playing different, but it looks very, very competitive, and for us we're in good form, but there's obviously nerves flying around.
Yes, I'm sure there are. What do you make of Oakham as a side then? How much do you know about them?
A little bit. Obviously you make a few phone calls and bits and bobs to other masters in charge of rugby regarding the way they play, and I think their last week's performance against Bedford, winning 13-12, that's a standout performance probably of this season by any team going down there and haven't been beaten for 2 years, so they are coming in fine form to this game, and we know that if we are not at our best we will not win this game, and we have to be. Saying that, we have played well the last few weeks, and I think both teams are sort of high on confidence, but probably a bit of nerves today because, as you say, you don't normally play each other, so there's that unknown element which is great about this competition. And
finally, just a quick one, you've got your own pedigree, having been a former captain of Bristol Grammar went out, so you're flying the flag for Bristol at the moment.
Yeah, I did pop along and have a look at that game yesterday, and it was quite tight for a while, and there was some moments where Bristol could have got back into that, but however, obviously Blundell's pushed on through, and we are the sole remaining team in there, so this is essentially our first round, although second, but fingers crossed we can fly the flag for the air, and then, as you say, with a live draw afterwards, it's very exciting. You never know who you're going to get, so we're looking forward to it. Hopefully the game will be a good representation of schools rugby and us as a college.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
We're joined by Andy Rice of Oakham School, and Andy, a good afternoon in prospect. How are you guys feeling ahead of this one?
We're confident. We're undefeated so far. The boys have just beaten Bedford, so that's obviously given them a decent fillet, but obviously we know it's going to be a good test today.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, getting past Berkhamsted School in round 1, but that recent result against Bedford, that 13-12 win, must give you real confidence coming back to the Champions Trophy and going back into knockout rugby.
Yeah, without doubt. We've got a talented bunch of boys here. They're hard working, pretty honest, but we have taken it one game at a time.
Excellent. The old cliches coming into force. It's an amazing facility here, great conditions, and the likes of Lewis Moody, Tom Croft have come through this stable, and you've got a few Tigers Academy boys in the team as well. What sort of rugby can we expect from your team this afternoon?
We've concentrated a lot on handling the ball, and some of our best handlers are actually the forwards, which I'm not sure what Mr. Smith thinks about that as a Leicester legend himself, but You know, he used to spend most of his life at the bottom of a ruck, but I'm sure he does approve.
Brilliant. And what about Clifton? Obviously they got the bye through the first round, so not a lot to go on as far as this season's Champions Trophy form is concerned, but they'll be looking to try and make a statement.
Yeah, they've got 6 academy boys in their side. I think their standoff Carwin, he got a game for Gloucester, so you know they've got a side. You know, and a spread of talent throughout the side as well. You know, the fullback's a good player, 2 centres, a couple of back row players and a hooker. So, and I'm sure all the boys can play. Excellent. So it's going to be a great game of schoolboy football.
Excellent. Best of luck.
Thank you very much indeed.
So hearing from the 2 coaches there, ahead of this NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy Round 2 match, Oakham School against Clifton College. We are up here in the East Midlands, live from Oakham School, and we are just a couple of minutes away from kickoff. 3:15, the match will be getting underway. So let's just have a little look at the teams then for this one. And the home side, Oakham, first of all. They've got 7 academy players in the starting 15. They've been on tremendous form this season, unbeaten so far this term, and with, well, that away win against Bedford that we spoke about in that interview. Last year's winners, of course, beating them by 13 points to 12 will give them real confidence as they return to the Champions Trophy competition. The forwards then, Alfie Dawson, Tom Rollinson and Charlie Losley-Williams. Second rows, Jack Baxter and Alex Worth. In the back row, Eddie Loring, Archie Sumner and big Freddie Davis. And I think Freddie Davis may be assuming the captaincy for this one. Then in the half-back, Sam Wolstenholme and Josh Lewis. And then the wingers, Tyrese Johnson Fisher and Ben Bolton-Smith. And in the centres, the 2 Harrys, Garforth and Storer. And of course, in this part of the world, Garforth has a familiar name for the Leicester Tigers fans, and he is the son of Darren. And then at fullback, it is the head boy of Oakham School. It's Hamish Merriman. Ian Simpson is the Director of Sport, and they're also coached today by Andy Rice, the Director of Rugby, and a famous name to many a Leicester schoolboy, Ian Dosser Smith. Looking at Clifton then, well, their most dramatic win this season was against Bishop's Wordsworth after trailing 28-17 with 5 minutes to go and scoring off 2 restarts to win the game by a point. They got that bye into round 2, so it's our first chance to see them in action. And in the squad, they've 6 players enlisted to the Bristol Academy, with, as we heard, skipper Carwin Penny registered with Gloucester. They've 3 Year 12s in the starting 15, in centre Hutchings and forwards Organ and Murphy. So in the forwards, it's Tyso, Freeman and Dean in the front row. Second row of Murphy and Cole. Then Critchley, Organ and McGee in the back row. The half-backs, Nicholas and the captain Penny. And on the wings, Charlie Argent and Stretfield James. In the centres, Welshman Solomon Hutchings. And then Matt with the surname of Welsh. And the full-back is Tom Hagen, who is also one of those players with the Bristol Academy. The coach, as we heard from a moment ago, is Matthew Salter, former Bristol captain, former top flight player of the season, in fact. He also coaches Clifton Rugby Union Club on a Saturday, so a rare chance for all of the effort he puts in to see his side running out midweek. Looking at the replacements then, for Oakham, Cameron Jordan, Seb Davis, Lucas Lovett, Matt Betts, Toya Afolabi and Felix Field. And for Clifton College, Will Sharp-Neal, Ahmed Idris, Fergus Turner, Josh Greenbury, Tom Millett, John Stratford, and then the former Dulwich College boy Ethan Wand, who makes up the last man there. So we can see the boys taking to the field down in front of us. You are very welcome to join us for our live streaming coverage this afternoon of the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy. It's our round 2 game, and it is between Oakham School and Clifton College. So Oakham then are out nice and early, hosting Clifton, and they are there in their black and red strip. Big players to look out for. Freddie Davis, the big number 8, 110 kgs. And then they've also got talent in the likes of Tyrese Johnson Fisher, the finisher, on the left wing. Under 17's national indoor champion. Over 60 metres, 6.89. I know who I'm asking to get me a drink, if I need one. So Clifton should be with us in just a couple of minutes. Clifton should be out very shortly, we're hoping. Pleasure to be here after our round one coverage, of course, from Tunbridge against Hampton. Real feeling that if that game had gone on another few minutes, well, Hampton could have caused an upset, or certainly come back into that game with enough to win it. But here come Clifton. So Clifton making their way onto the field then, ready to take part in their first game of the Champions Trophy campaign for this year, getting that bye into round two. So just awaiting our referee, who is from the Leicestershire Society, Mr. Guy Gasper. And the ball is in the hands of Oakham's Josh Lewis there, the number 10. Welsh Exiles player. He'll be playing 35 minutes. Should there be any yellow cards, well, they will be 7 minutes in duration for those infringements. So we are ready to get underway. Playing from right to left is Oakham School. In the blue caps we have Clifton College. Kickoff is made, and it's well taken in immediately by McGee. And the red scrum cap is there, bobbled around momentarily on the floor, but well, it has been turned over by Oakham. Wolstenholme is wanting to get more of his forwards in there to help defend it. Certainly talking to the S&C coach here at Oakham pre-game, saying it's more of a two open sides that they've got in that back row. Bit of tidying up work to do by Clifton here, but I think we've got a penalty we're going back for. In fact, the visitors were caught offside. So this could be a very early opportunity for Carwyn Penny. No, sorry, for Josh Lewis. He is going to have a stab at the posts. Inside the first minute, first opportunity. Points on the board for the home side. The first points. Coolly done. It's quite a wind blowing around up here, so not easy to necessarily thread that ball through. Josh Lewis managed to do so with ease, and Oakham School take the lead by 3 points to 0. Just in need of a ball to get the game started.
2 foot in front.
Carwyn Penny. Ball is taken in. That's a really strong follow-up tackle, but Oakham have held on to possession. Wolstenholme wants his forwards running round the corner. Pops it off to big Losley Williams. Wolstenholme, oh, they want to switch direction here. Sends Penny scurrying back for that. Inside his 22, has options to clear, but he's beginning to run it out. And then gets support on his right shoulder, and
They've got a bit of work to do, but Jacob Critchley's happy to set up the platform, and Clifton will clear their lines. Is it going to find touch? It just about does. Tyrese Johnson-Fisher was preying upon that, hoping he might get a chance to scuttle down that left-hand side, but the ball finds its way into touch. So first line out of the game. Call being made clear from Rodinson. Third generation Oakhamian. It's in the blood. Oh, it is knocked on at the line out from Oakham. So there's an advantage being played, and Edward Dean tidies it up for Clifton. Forwards come round the corner. Oliver Nicholas will want to try and get that ball away quickly, but he just had a couple of bodies there and he couldn't quite do so. But there was an offside, referee says, and it's a penalty to the visitors. They're playing into the wind in this first half. It'll take about 10-15 metres up that left-hand touchline. Both sides largely playing with players in their upper sixth form. There are just 3 players in the lower sixth in both starting 15s. And a couple each on the bench. Likes of Ben Bolton-Smith for Oakham and Johnson-Fisher the winger. Also Archie Sumner. Their official open side, even if Eddie Loring might also be so. Here come Oakham again, right in the middle of the park then, an opportunity for Wolstenholme. Pops it up at close quarters. Jack Buxton with the carry that time. Got players wanting to offer themselves on that short side, but the option is to go open. Ball was just a little bit far away there from Josh Lewis. So we got the scrum right in the centre of the park. Settles down enough to get that in, and Clifton with a decent hook, and it's there now. And away from McGee. Harwin. Penny just providing the linchpin from fly half. Then they come again. Little step inside off the left peg from Critchley. Chance to see if Clifton can really get going through Penny again. Big hit in the middle, but the tackle is good. Now a little chip through as he overcooked it. Well, the referee's going to bring them back. They had an advantage coming already. Penny. It's a decent nudge into that right corner. Great platform for Clifton from here. Plenty of noise. Clifton, well, they go over the top. Little too much enthusiasm in it, and it's gathered in by Loring. Eddie Loring. Now then, long clearance downfield, sends Clifton going back for it. Charlie Argent couldn't take it first time. He's got support infield. Tom Hagen just runs that one up, takes the tackle. Clifton looking to the left now. Penny, little step back inside. He likes to run as a fly half rather than to be a fully kicking operator. McGee carries, then it's nicely presented down the short side again from Nicholas. They just run out of room over on the far side, and the flag up means we'll have another line out. Just 3 points to nil to the home side so far. Who's going to be the chosen man this time? Wanted it to go to the front, and it was well taken by the skipper Davis. He's a big unit all out then. That's a little loose, and a little bit of gathering and tidying up work required by Harry Garforth there. So another strong carry though. Off to the right. Alex Worth. Wilson home, switching direction once he got the call from Lewis, and have they got some room here to try and get away down the left hand side? Oh, it's just gone forward, says the referee. Just out of your picture. He's going to call it back. He was right in line with it. Ben Bolton-Smith really fancied his chances to get going there. Popping up on the left wing. Well, free kick. It's going to come to Oakham School. Tap and go quickly. There's that big Freddie Davis. Wilson home. Another little short carry. Wants his forwards to do a job for him, which they do. Good ground made here by the home side. Wilson home wanting to try and get around the corner. That's really good work from the scrum half. Decent feet to work his way through the gap. Now he's there, ready to feed Lewis. Around the back through Garforth. It's just a little untidy once it gets through the centres at the minute from the home side. But another offside penalty. Referee's certainly played a few of them so far. Now, is this going to be in a position that's worthy of taking points, or will Oakham decide to stick this one into the corner? Lewis. Opts for territory and a chance to go from the set piece. Certainly seen them look threatening as a physical unit in the loose. Now they need to make it count from the set piece. Tom Rollinson then with an important one here. It's also the first 11 wicket-keeper when cricket season comes around. It's a well-functioning line-out, well taken by Archie Sumner. Then back into the melee, and they want to get a drive going. They're stopped short though. Referee says the ball is there, so I think he's encouraging Wilson home to play at it. But we're just going to have the scrum. Ball did go to ground. Round two. Schools Cup Champions Trophy match, Oakham against Clifton. Live streaming here on englandrugby.com. My name's Nick Heath. Pleasure to be bringing you this game as both of these sides look to try and get a place in the quarterfinals. We will have that live draw for the quarterfinals coming up for you after this match, so do stay with us for that one. Ball's in from Wolstenholme. A little bit of control at the back, but the scrum half is going to be asked to get it away. Now then, are they going to find a room to get Johnson Fisher going? He certainly got the ball, but he couldn't do an awful lot with it at that time. Merriman will then crash it up. Now it's the skipper, Davis. Clifton have done well to neutralise his threat, and they've managed to force the knock-on. Frustration for the home side. They might have the lead, but they're certainly sensing that more might be on offer, just not able to take it so far.
Roll, let's go, this one. That's right. In the back row, you watch that. Second last one's great. Roll, you're going to win this, mate. You're winning this, roll. Come on, fine. Hold it, lad.
Referee wants it to hold. Oh, and it's a free kick once again to Oakham. They're going to try and take it quickly. Davis wanting to swat away the tacklers. At least run away from the forwards, hoping the backside might not be able to stop it. Get themselves drawn up close. Going straight down the 10 channel. Josh Lewis not finding a way. Now they fan out to the left again. It's a little bit of slow ball. Can Jack Baxter make any headway? Clifton having to defend hard here. And Clifton have turned the ball over. Penny with the clearance. And that'll do. Conversation going on between Freddie Davis and the referee as to what quite happened there. Whether there was a legal turnover or not, Clifton won't be worried. They weather another storm. A little untidy at the set piece. Clifton having cleared the ball out and handed possession over to Oakham. Well, they'll be pleased to be getting the put into this scrum. Nicholas ready to get this one in then.
Hold him out. I'm on side, sir, we're good.
And it's away. Down the short side, Carwyn Penny wants to try and test the last line of defence. Johnson Fisher with a bit of a chance to run through. Oh, sit down, he says. Then a little bit of hot potato. Short ball, inviting Alex Worth to come forward. Wolstenholme, Loring, Sumner on that occasion rather. Wolstenholme again, they think they fancy their chances down the short side. They need someone around the outside. That was Loring on that occasion. Did well and made a few valuable yards. Then the ball comes squirting out. But we do have a player down and looking a little uncomfortable. I certainly hope that isn't anything too serious. Not too sure who the player is that's down. Unfortunately, we are going to have a slightly longer stoppage than we might like here, because the player that's down and has fallen awkwardly is going to need a little more attention. Can happen in a contact sport. We certainly wish him well. We've had a fair bit of rain up here this morning. It's well, looking like we might get a little bit of a dampener in a short while, looking at those clouds over to the right hand side. It's certainly coming from that direction. We would love things to be tied up before that rain arrives to spoil things, but we do have the time off while there is a bit of attention being given to the player, and it'll be now down to both teams to make sure that they keep well warmed up. Coaches are both onto the field. Andy Rice for Oakham School. Of course, he works alongside the legendary Ian Smith, Ian Dosser Smith as he's known, and he has worked with many of the legends that have come through this school, the likes of Lewis Moody and Tom Croft, British and Irish Lion. Stuart Broad is another well-known graduate of this school. Just a little bit of light drizzle beginning to try and make its presence felt through the air. So if you've just joined us, we are, well, around 17 minutes into the game here at Oakham School. We are in round 2 of the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy. Both of these sides aiming for a place in the quarterfinals. We'll also have the live draw coming up for you a little later. Through, of course, so far Blundell's, who put in a brilliant performance to beat Bristol Grammar School 44 points to 19 after their bye. Epsom College, they're through after a big win against St John's Leatherhead by 29 points to 12, although the game was a bit closer than that scoreline suggests. Eton College through as well, as Oakham, you can see, just keeping their hands warm. Eton, they got through against Grammar School at Leeds, 55 points to 12, quite a statement from Eton College, knocking out the 2014 finalists. They previously dispatched Dulwich, who won 3 NatWest Cups in a row. And Monmouth School, of course, well, they're the other side already through. We do have other games taking place today, and we will, of course, get hold of those results by the time the live draw happens a little later on after this game. So the rain is arriving.
Let's just look up, boys.
How will it affect the game? Pleased to tell you that the Clifton player is on his feet and entering our medic van. So certainly hoping that that isn't too serious. We should be able to get the game underway again very shortly. So apologies for the delay, but that's the nature of a physical game such as rugby.
Okay, guys, get in, Carwin, get them in. Go full speed. Come on now, boys.
The delights of an autumnal sport as the rain starts to turn a little horizontal. It's a day when you're very pleased you've put your team sheet under some covered plastic. 3-0 to Oakham School then. and I think we should be able to get underway again in a few minutes' time. There are some brighter skies over to the right-hand side. But the rain is certainly not abating for the next few minutes. It is coming down very strongly. Hopefully you are able to get a decent picture of the game in front of you as the rain challenges. On coverage, of course. You're very welcome. As our referee gets the match back underway then. Oakham with the scrum. Wolstenholme to get this one in. It's loose and picked up by Clifton. Got the opportunity to try and get the offload away to Charlie Argent. He was able to just take it into contact. Argent doing well. Penalty comes to Clifton. Not releasing the man on the floor is the call from the referee. He will kick into that right-hand corner. So that's how damp we are currently up in the East Midlands. But the game continues. Runners on the touchline paint the picture of their own, don't they? Clifton line out. It's one, but I don't think it was straight. Referee just seeing if any advantage was coming to Oakham, which it was not. Rain just eases a little now. There are some brighter skies coming, as I say. We will have a pretty greasy pitch. Wolstenholme. Squirts out, dealt with it well. The pass over the top isn't too easy for Josh Lewis to deal with. But the clearance is made downfield, and Hagen will tidy it up. He's got support from Stripfield James. Hagen, well tackled. First man there for Oakham. Did a good job to stop the advancing fullback for Clifton. Still inside their own half, just around the 10-metre line. Clifton, closely bunched. The rain will change the nature of the game that we're going to have now, potentially. But it's certainly going to test the hands. Carwyn Penny fed the ball back. There was a penalty advantage coming. Referee really hot on the penalties on the offside line. That's something that Oakham are going to have to think about at half-time. Penny doesn't risk it. Plays a safe touch finder. Takes play up to just between the 10-metre and 22-metre line. Clifton with the line out. It's spilled, but it comes back on the right side for them. Penny looks to try and use Matt Welsh. Carries it well, holds on to the ball well. Then they decide to go down the blind side. Ball spilled forwards though. For all the endeavour. Oakham are going to have the scrum. You can see the rain is just blurring our picture slightly, doing our best to bring you our live streaming coverage here. We might just get our man up there to have a little rub of his lens, because we certainly want to be able to smarten our picture up for you. So do bear with us. Wolstenholme gets that ball away. Lewis. Let's go round through Garforth. Put that ball up. And it's gone out on the full. Just carried an extra 5 yards. Just went a little too far. So Oakham have handed the advantage to Clifton here. Can they take advantage? They still yet to get a point on the board. They've only got the 3 from that very early penalty inside the first minute from Oakham. Clifton do well. Get it away from Nicholas. Penny. Big drive up from Max Murphy. Hagen joins the line, tries to step back in. Pirouettes out of the second tackle. Trying to get a turnover on it there. Nicholas. Difficult delivery. Josh Lewis did really well to come up and make the tackle on the big Clifton man. And they might have got turnover ball here. Wolstenholme, they want to try and put someone through a hole. Don't need to rush it though. Hold on and create the phases. It's a slippery ball and the skipper will do that. Direct from Freddie Davis. Little crabbing along the floor. Take every little inch that he could there, Tom Rollinson. Little chip through. Lewis is chasing after this. Oh, and it's been missed by Clifton. Hagen gathers it. He was still on the floor. He might get a penalty out of it. The referee momentarily brought his whistle to his lips, but I think he's happy enough to allow Clifton to continue with possession. Where is the ball in there? Nicholas has got to go digging for it. It's going to be a scrum to Oakham. So another little stoppage for Clifton. Well, just getting some attention is Nick Freeman, the vice-captain. One of the men with Bristol Academy. One of the Welshmen in the Clifton side. There are 4 of them. He is one of them. Carwyn Penny the other, and Solomon Hutchings. So we're ready to get going again. Wolstenholme. Paul is at the back with Davis. Feeds it to his scrum half and then Johnson Fisher. Wolstenholme again. Not quite getting past the gain line yet, Oakham. Wolstenholme fancy trying to go himself and does make an extra 4 or 5 metres to get over that gain line. Rollinson with a couple of extra metres. And now they step around the side, and that's good work from the skipper. Clifton have got to make sure they're on the right side here. Wolstenholme gets it away. Josh Lewis steps inside the right foot, but it's good tackling from Clifton. Wolstenholme again, now to the left. Alex Worth will carry, but he manages to knock it on. So Clifton have got to get hold of it. They're not going to, as long as Oakham continue to flood through. So the referee says we'll have the scrum, and it'll be a good chance for Clifton to try and clear their lines. They're outside their 22 though, so it's not going to be the easiest for them. Ollie Nicholas gets that in. It's a fair old squeeze coming from Oakham, but Clifton opt to get it away before any danger. And oh, there was a big gap opened up in the middle. It was really on for Charlie Argent, but he couldn't hold it. And the loose ball will provide Oakham with an opportunity. Josh Lewis happy to do some of the physical stuff. He is a broad fly half to try and get through those gaps. Difficult to stop. And then the next carry, Eddie Loring. Wolstenholme again. He'll look for his skipper. Freddie Davis. Ball was knocked on the floor, but it's gone backwards. Little ball back inside to Baxter. Then they come flooding round that right corner. Davis again. They'll carry all day long for his side. Lewis. Then they look for the ball back in field, and it's just lost now. Turnover ball for Clifton. Declan McGee looking to go straight through Harry Storey. Used him as a road bump more than anything. And then the clearance downfield. Going to put a bit of pressure on in the wet. But the referee's going to bring them back. Nice to see a little bit of feet from Hamish Merriman there. Swatting off the advancing defenders. Tom Millett on for Clifton. But we're going back for the scrum. The knock-on had come from Oakham. Well, here's that little bit of footwork. The referee was just about to blow the whistle. It was lovely from Merriman. Might not want to show too much of his toolkit while we're only on advantage. Referee's not too happy with things just yet. You can hear the calls there from the Oakham players. Discipline, that is what's required. Ball's in from Nicholas. It's collapsed at the back here for Oakham, as you can see, and Clifton will try and run it. That time it does go to hand, and it's into the hands of Hagan, who then sells the dummy, and he's tried to chip it forwards. It's gone straight out. That wasn't quite the right option for Clifton. Made some decent ground with ball in hand. He was looking good, but well, Hagan just apologises to his teammates. But it was good awareness and a lovely sell of the dummy from the Bristol Academy fullback. Got around 7 minutes remaining of the first half. Of course, we did kick off at 3:15, but we had that lengthy stoppage for the injury, and the rain arrived. But it's stopped now, and Josh Lewis will feed the ball through Garforth up to halfway. Wolstenholme wants them to come the same way. Lewis, oh, if they could have gone one more pass, it might have found the dangerous Johnson Fisher. Lewis, another step back in, that time from Davis. Is the referee going to be invited into giving a penalty there against Clifton? He doesn't that time. It's loose from Lewis.
Get out, Jacko! Out!
He's going to call them back. I think it was a penalty, or it was just a knock-on, in fact. Balls away. Penny opted to just try and test Merriman again. We've seen his feet once. He was closed down quickly on that occasion. Oakham goes short side through Davis. He's eventually brought down. Presents the ball. Forwards run on. Really solid carry from Sumner. Another big hit. Alfie Dawson. Wilson home. Davis. Big tackling required by Clifton, and they are certainly getting the hits in. Josh Greenbury on that occasion, bringing down the big Oakham skipper. Loud blast from the referee, and holding on to the ball is the call. Clifton getting themselves in a decent body position for all of Oakham's endeavour. Once again, they're just not quite able to get going enough to be threatening on the scoreboard. And Clifton doing enough to shut them down. So Penny now from the middle of the park will look for a bit of territory down this right-hand side. It's a decent kick. They might need a spare ball here, which is coming. One of the spectators dived to get out of the way of a moving rugby ball there. Bless her, there she is, just on the corner of your screen, just getting up. Little nudge in the line out, but nothing too wrong as Clifton try and get it to ground. Nicholas is there, but I think he's asking his forwards to do a job for him, which they do. Combination there of Dean and Tai So. Clifton under all sorts of pressure. Nicholas was scragged at the back of that breakdown, but now he gets it away, and Penny decides that looking down this right corner might be an idea, and he chips that one over Tyrese Fisher, Johnson Fisher, and gets some great territory into that corner, putting a lot of pressure on Oakham now. They will have the ball, the home side, with about 3 minutes on the clock. Bit of renovation going on at the school, bit of a building site to the right-hand side. Just 3 minutes in it, 3 points in it in this first half. Can Clifton put on some pressure here? You can see we've got a clock on the wall ahead. We've also got our estimated time on our clock. It'll be on the referee's whistle, that's the most important one. It's a good defensive drive from Oakham. Really well played. Now they get it out. Oh, that was great acrobatics to take that ball in from Garforth. Really needed to be. If he'd had knocked on in that position, well, it could have been curtains. But the referee's bringing them back. It's a penalty to Oakham. This will provide them with the time to clear their lines. Lewis then. Got some decent yards there, Lewis. He's taken play right up to the halfway line. Very nicely done from the Oakham fly half. 3 points on his tally so far. Get the comms in, communication between Losley Williams and Tom Rollinson. Rollinson, well, it started drifting towards Clifton, but it was a really good reaction from Alfie Dawson. The referee's calling them back. Well, you kind of think if it's not straight to the opposition and then they've got possession, well, do we really need to stop for play? But well, that's what referee Gasper has called. We're inside the last minute of the first half. Well, our highlights reel of the first half may be a little short. It's not been without endeavour from both sides, but the rain and the stoppage perhaps just stopping the rhythm of both sides. So this could be the last act of the first half, if we are accurate to the referee's whistle. And he has decided that that's enough for the first 35 minutes. Blows the whistle. And, well, we don't know an awful lot about these two sides so far after that first 35 minutes. The rain really interrupted things, as did the stoppage. A few loss of hands, but certainly two teams that are very, very tightly matched. Plenty of physical stuff, plenty of big hits, ball through the hands from both sides. Two fullbacks that are keen to try and attack, and two tens that are quite happy to run it if they need to. It's a half-time score in this round 2 NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy match of Oakham School 3, Clifton College 0. And I think this second 35 is what will really dictate the story of this match as to who will get through to those quarterfinals. So that'll wrap up our coverage for the first half. Grab yourself a cup of tea. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second. So welcome back to our live streaming coverage here of the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy match between Oakham School and Clifton College. Clifton playing right to left, trailing by that 3-0 scoreline. We have got news of some other scores coming in the competition. Tunbridge against Millfield. That has finished 26 points to 7 in favour of Tunbridge. So they've avenged that 2014 loss. And Bedford, they've won with the last play of the game against St Paul's, scoring in the last minute. So plenty of drama going on in the cup. Clifton then have got some work to do. Not too much work though, as Carwyn Penny, one of the more experienced Gloucester Academy player, Wales under 18. He's played the A-League for Gloucester. That was against Bristol last week. Well, we've had the rain, and now, would you believe it, the sunshine is out to join us. That'll warm the cockles. Penalty against Clifton, going off their feet. The referee awards it to Oakham. So what words will have been said at half-time by each of the coaches? Andy Rice for Oakham, Matthew Salter for Clifton. It's a good line-out, well executed, really well taken down from the top from Alex Worth, right at full extension. They run around the corner well, but the ball is a little slow here. That's where they need it to be quicker. Worth again with the carry. And they look up to the right, running around that corner. Big Alfie Dawson. Now then, they've committed less men to the breakdown here. There's a penalty advantage as Clifton get themselves in the way. Cute little ball over the right, off the right outside point of the foot from Josh Lewis. And the referee quite right that Clifton were getting themselves into all sorts of illegal positions there as Oakham tried to get going. Just slowing it down. So as much as Oakham School has the tie, of course, to Leicester Tigers, well, their bitter rivals in the East Midlands are, of course, Northampton Saints. That is where the big skipper, Freddie Davis, has pledged his allegiance, member of the Saints Academy. Josh Lewis then, just his second attempt at goal this afternoon, and this to try and double Oakham's lead. Right in line with it, and he's just looked to have pushed it past the right hand upright. So 3 points go begging. Clifton still very much in this game. Don't forget we have the live draw for the quarterfinals of the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy coming up after this game, so do stay with us for that. And it comes down now to Bolton Smith, then through the skipper. And a boot through the ball from Merriman. He's not found touch though, but he has forced a knock on from Clifton. That was uncharacteristic from Penny. Normally got better hands than that, but the on-rushing Oakham defence, well, I think that's what put him off. Just took his eye off the ball momentarily. And that's all it needs to create the error. And the return on that effectively for Merriman's kick is a decent 35-40 metres upfield. Oakham have got some depth on their three-quarter line now. They fancy a chance to run at this Clifton defence. Will Freddie Davis have any other ideas from the back of the scrum? No. Wilson home. Well, he certainly got plenty of attention from Oliver Nicholas, and the Clifton scrum half said, you're not going to have this all your own way. They opt to try and go down the short side. Alfie Dawson doing what Dawson loves to do, taking those metres, then back to the open side. And Wilson home now will get that ball away. Lewis, Garforth just had to take it a little flat-footed. Now they're going to go back to the short side. Wilson home. Dawson. Wilson home again. Davis on the crash ball. Lovely feet from the big man. They only just held on to him. Must have thought he was away. Wilson home again. Garforth. Oh, that's great feet from Garforth to get past the first man. Oakham now building something here. Lewis, oh, and Johnson Fisher, he's just coughed it up. There'll be an advantage being played for Clifton, but I think we're going back. It's a little loose. But just as Oakham fancied their chances there, oh, Tyrese Johnson Fisher will be frustrated with himself. There were some big carries there and some good yards being made by the home side. Penny. It's just going to land infield, but there is a foot on touch, foot on the whitewash while they're playing on. Did he catch it with the foot on the whitewash? That's the big question. Did he catch it and then put his foot down? But referee happy and allowing play to continue. Have to give credit to the Clifton defence largely, because with the likes of Freddie Davis on the ball now and the other carriers that Oakham have, they have brought them down just when they've needed to. Josh Lewis steps in off the right peg. Wolstenholme then to the right. Garforth playing first receiver. Oh, he gets out of the first tackle, but he's still got some ground to make up. Goes to ground almost voluntarily. Then back to the left. Difficult ball for Lewis to take, but he did so well. Wolstenholme again, his service just speeding up a little now, and that's what Oakham need as they try and get through, and it's a good chase on the ball. It's just going to beat everybody. Would have been a real chance for Ben Bolton-Smith. Lively stuff from the home side, and you sense this score could be coming. Clifton getting themselves out of jail again a couple of times here. Well, clearance doesn't find touch. Lewis, what are his options? Just dances his way into the tackle of Matt Welsh. And again, Dawson. Ball coughed up. Was the ball available there? I think we're just going back for the knock-on. Josh Greenbury doing his best to try and get that ball away, but plenty of attention at the back of that breakdown around him. Wolstenholme doing his best to G up. So is Johnson Fisher. He's lightning fast, but they've not really managed to find him with ball in hand and much real estate in front of him. What they need to do. Ollie Nicholas for Clifton. They've not had too much ball so far this second half to see what they can do. Penny. And they find Hagen. Got to get the clear out in there, Clifton, which they manage. Then they give it to one of the big men to carry up. Nicholas again, quick feed. He's looking for his prop, Edward Dean. You go back to the blind side again. Little juggle of it from Penny, but he decides that he'll try and thread it through into that corner. Merriman has kept it in, then he gets rid of the first tackler. But we're going back for a penalty. Oakham caught offside. Got to be careful when the man at the back does clear the possession, that they are in the right position. So the ball in for Clifton. Can they make anything of this opportunity? Certainly travelled a long way here to Oakham. Oh, and they get a penalty. Is this going to be within the range of Penny? Will they decide to go quickly? And were Oakham back 10? Might have been a chance to take 3 points and level the scores, but they didn't manage to. Well, that's a good run from Freeman. Now they go back to the short side. Clifton with their tails up now through McGee. Nicholas. Murphy. Good from Murphy. Nicholas again. Penny. Oh, and then the big hooker. 2 big carries from Freeman. He's made some key yards for them there. Now Penny comes back in field. Where's he going? Have they got men out there? Oh, they've overrun the ball slightly. Clifton really close into that right-hand corner now. But they're going to have to go again. Ball is there. Nicholas away. Penny. In through the middle. Big hit. Sees the ball come squirting out. And then Garforth gets his hands on it for Oakham. Hagen goes tracking back. Lewis will put the boot down ball. Put the boot through, boot through the ball. Put my teeth in. And he bobbles into touch. Well, they did really well there. Harry Garforth was the man who saved the day. His father Darren, he's done that for the Leicester Tigers and England, of course. Great passage of play as far as Clifton are concerned, but well, much like Oakham's efforts at the other end, defence just winning out in the end once the attack coughed up the ball. Freeman really involved in that last attack. Ball down from the line-out was good, but it's not been tidied up by Nicholas, and it bobbled away from the scrum half, and Oakham will have possession. Wolstenholme wants to try and use his back row. Archie Sutton with the juggle, does manage to get it down. Wolstenholme again. Lewis, Garforth got it outside to his fellow centre Storer. But he was well hit in the tackle, but we're going back for the penalty. Clifton offside. So Lewis, he's slotted one, missed one, and now a chance. This one slightly easier from the left-hand side of the posts. So this one over to the left side. Can he curl it round? Lewis to double the tally. Goes past the right-hand upright. Not going to be second half. 6 points go a-begging from Oakham in this second half. Blazing sunshine now. Bits of blue sky as well. Changes being made for both sides. Ahmed Idris comes onto the field. Penny. Wolstenholme takes it in. Feeds it away to Merriman. Merriman wanted some support. Got it from Loring. Davis decides to go route one. Was just scragged. Wolstenholme, Lewis. Jack Baxter, he's done a decent amount of carrying for them today as well. Then Lewis thinks about trying to go through the gap, but Declan McGee shuts it down. Over on the far side, Dawson will rumble it up. Wolstenholme again. Davis wasn't held. Referee's happy enough for him to get back to his feet and keep going. That man Baxter again. Now to the left, Wolstenholme. Have they managed to create the extra man? It's just been nudged forwards. Again, just undoing all their good work. There's a rueful look on the face of Freddie Davis there. Just wonder whether the man who jumped for the ball managed to hold on to it. I couldn't quite see from my position. Just unsighted whether he did hold on to it or not, but the referee was a lot closer than I am. So still plenty of room for this game to take another few twists and turns. Just see to the left there, the Clifton coaches just on the left of your picture. Matthew Salter watching on as his side have to cope with a bit of pressure at scrum time. Carwyn Penny couldn't kick it into touch, he was outside his 22, but now back in field. Winger to winger. And then the tackle being made by Charlie Argent, and he managed to turn it over. That's brilliant from Argent for Clifton. Declan McGee then carries, now for Nicholas. Not sure whether Oakham were onside there, the referee's been pretty hot on it all afternoon. Clifton have it. Oh, but they get the penalty. Not released on the floor. Tackler not releasing the tackled man. Penny, he'll fancy a chance to put this in the corner. Well, no, he's going for a long-range effort. Well, they had a penalty much closer earlier on, which they opted to tap quickly. But now, Penny is going to have a go from the tee, just outside the 10-metre line. Must be at around 42, 43 metres. And well, it certainly makes sense strategically. Clifton just need 3 points on the board to tie this one up. The referee has gone all the way under the posts to make sure he gets a good look at where this one goes. Carwyn Penny, Clifton skipper, to level the scores. Certainly got enough, and it's through the post. That's a great effort from Penny. 3 points apiece. Oakham School 3, Clifton College 3. We were in for a good contest. Certainly been plenty to enjoy. Oh, and then the knock on, and then the man in front. It's a penalty. Penny won't resist the chance to take this one down that far side touchline.
Come on, boys, let's get hold of the
Clifton with the line out. Can they perhaps turn that penalty score into a bit of momentum? Oakham will certainly be defending with their lives here. They're not going to give this up easily at home. Just over a quarter of an hour of the game remaining. Plenty of calls going in from Oakham to try and make it clear. Alfie Dawson done so much tidying up and so much carrying for his side this afternoon, being one of the real leading lights for me. Josh Lewis keeps going through, he's not held in the tackle, can help himself to a few extra yards. Davis looking like he's in a one-man bar brawl as he comes forward there, the captain. And Lewis, he's put a kick through, not entirely sure he needed to, but he's forced the error. And they'll go back for the scrum. Frustration on the face of Stretfield James. But, in fact, we've got a penalty. Carwyn Penny just asking questions of the referee. entirely sure of what the award of the penalty was for there on that particular occasion. Josh Lewis will try and give his team a platform inside the Clifton 22. Plenty of fellow pupils and masters and parents out here to support the home side, as you would expect, in their bid to try and find a quarter-final spot. Scrum is moving around, there is the breakaway, there's a penalty advantage being played as well, so Wolstenholme and his crew have got a shot to nothing. Lewis through Garforth, this is good quick hands from Oakham, can they work their way into the corner? Little darting field, are they over for the try? They are! That's brilliant work, and it's Seb Davis who's the man who scores it. The replacement onto the field. Brilliant stuff from Oakham, and finally we have the game's first try. Well, the penalty came here. The advantage was being played. Nevertheless, the effort through the hands was superb. Merriman just had to feed the last man, and Seb Davis was the man to finish. Conversion attempt from wide out on the left. Won't be successful. Oakham won't worry too much. They've got the lead by 5 points. 8 points to 3. They are in front. Still time for Clifton though. Penny with the restart. It's not going to give his forwards an awful lot of time to get after that, but they're going to have to follow up and make the tackles. They've been tackling Alfie Dawson all afternoon. Oh, but they get the penalty. Oakham going straight in off their feet to try and secure the ball over the top of Dawson. Nicholas won't waste any time. Wants to get that ball to his skipper. Right-footed. Take a few yards. They're safe. Clifton far enough out that they're going to have to work out the plan here. They've certainly faced the wrath of Oakham a couple of times physically, certainly in the forwards. 755 kgs in the starting lineup of the Oakham forwards. Judging to their strength and conditioner Joel Trapp before the game. They were weighed at the beginning of the week. Clifton now then get going, and they get a bit of a rumble on themselves, but they break away. And Nick Freeman. He's got a sort of Jamie George style, running style about him, hasn't he? It's good play from Freeman. Penalty, pop it into touch. I fancy more. Accurate from the set piece, it's absolutely crucial for them now. They appeal to the referee for that strike. Not sure if he's interested. Ball is at the back. It's there, Nicholas. Then out through Penny. Short crash ball from Matt Welsh, but not quite through the hole on that occasion. Penny then says, let's go short side. Nicholas again. Close quarter stuff here from Clifton. Not quite ready to throw it out wide, but the loose ball is preyed on by Oakham. They get possession back. And now they've got a clearance to make through Lewis, and he'll do that well. In fact, the referee's going to go back for a penalty. They'll have plenty of time to make that clearance again.
Boys, that's defending the den. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Lewis to clear the lines. Well, they've now got 2 balls that have actually gone over into that little compound down to the left of our picture there, which I'm not sure are the easiest places to go and get them from, but I think someone has just managed to go round and get hold of one of them, so we've got a 3rd match ball in play. Oakham with the line out. Good call. It's a really good drive from Oakham. They're still going. Tackle is eventually made. Clifton have got to be careful they don't lie all over the top of it. Then Wolstenholme gets it away. Garforth has moved into that 10 position, certainly on that occasion. Now they go again. Oh, a little juggle from Freddie Davis. Then the offload. Then Dawson. Two scrum halves on the pitch currently, but Clifton have just turned that over. Chris Stretfield-James, the first to react. And now the white and blue shirts can try and get going again. Has he managed to get that ball back on the right side? He has. Penny. Not seen him fully unlock the Oakham defence as yet, and then the ball comes forward, and well, Bolton Smith will try and profit for it from Oakham. It's just getting a little loose now. You sense that any moment another breakthrough might happen for either side. If it's Oakham, well, it might be curtains for Clifton, but if Clifton could find that little chink of light, that little moment of a lack of concentration, a loss of concentration from the home side, well, they might get a chance to break away. If you're just joining us in that first half, we did have a stoppage for a good 4 or 5 minutes, or perhaps longer, as one of the Clifton players went down injured. Didn't look too bad. He was on his feet as he went into the ambulance that took him away from the field, but nevertheless it can do a lot to stop the rhythm of players. We then had a fairly hefty downpour of rain as well. I say down, it was largely horizontal, but it's made it a slippery old exercise for these players. But now Wolstenholme looks to try and attack that short side. Has Bolton Smith for company again. Clifton trying to get their way out of there. Wolstenholme again. Lewis. Wolstenholme, oh, a little lack of communication there. It's a little untidy for Garforth, who thought he'd step right through, but will come back for an offside penalty. Referee laying down the law in this area of the field. The live draw for the NatWest Schools Cup quarterfinals coming up at the conclusion of this match. Freddie Davis takes it down for Oakham. They're trying to get a shove on, but there's a fair few Clifton bodies in the way. Wolstenholme, Lewis, Garforth looks outside for Storer. Storer's gone to ground and knocked it forward. Clifton will have the advantage. Did that go backwards? That was a knock-on from the blue and white stripes as well. We'll go back for the first offence, which was the knock-on from Harry Storer. Another day with a bit of drier ball. It would be interesting to see how the back lines of these two sides could really get going, but they've been just foiled a few times with the cold and greasy nature of it. Wolstenholme having to defend here against Nicholas, who wants to try and release Penny. Gets his clearance kick away. Merriman, school head boy. Long pass back in field for Lewis. What options does Lewis fancy? He's put a left boot to it, but that's not an awful lot of yardage. Oh, but then the ball has been intercepted by Bolton Smith, who's going to run all the way for the try. Disaster for Tom Millett. Went back to try and cover it, and as he popped the ball up, Bolton Smith was right there to take it out of the air, and that could very well see off the challenge of Clifton, unless there's to be a dramatic comeback. This was the kick downfield from Lewis. It was a kick to nothing, really. Not particularly accurate. Thought he'd spotted a bit of room, but that ball, the pass wasn't really much on it from Millett, and Bolton Smith will happily have profited from it. Took it out of the sky, and that takes it up to a 10-point lead now, 13 points to 3, that Oakham have the lead. Josh Lewis. To try and add the extras. He opened the scoring inside the first minute. They're happy with that one. That's a bit more like it. 15 points to 3 then. Advantage with the home side. Clifton, well, if they're to do anything, they need to score a try immediately with enough time on the clock to score a second and convert it. You sense that is asking a little too much of them at this stage. Could be the team in black and red that we see in the quarterfinals. Two and a half minutes on the clock. We'll go back for the penalty. Questions being asked of the referee by Ahmed Idris, but he would just rather play on. Lewis with the clearance. Rollinson. Right now it's functioned largely well. Now I've said that, commentator's curse. Comes down on the Clifton side. Ollie Nicholas for Penny. Clifton doing their best to try and keep some go forward, which they get from Murphy. Good yard from Max Murphy. Penny keeps it in hand. No shortage of admirers who bring him to ground. Another close quarters carry. Good support from Idris. Then it's a little loose. Need more players out on this left side if they're going to come this way again, Clifton, but they go down the short side to the right. Penny. Ball's presented for Nicholas. And it's loose and over the top. Tacklers come streaming through. Penny under plenty of pressure. Gets that ball back. It's perhaps just a little bit of that physical threat, and a bit of energy in defence that Clifton haven't quite had. Certainly doing their best to try and punch a hole or two upfield now. Penny again. Feeds to the right. Need a combination of that punch and then the quick ball, and it just hasn't arrived in consequential nature for much of the game for Clifton. Just slower again. Penny. There's a penalty advantage being played now to Clifton. And the ref is going to bring them back here for an offside in midfield. John Stratford decides to tap and go quickly onto the field to try and make an impact. It's loose from Nicholas. It's well picked up. Now by our match clock and by the clock on the wall, it says full time, and the referee agrees with both. Oakham School are victorious at home in round 2 of the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy. You can see what it means to the players. Clifton, they've certainly got their own ambitions with the merit table, but they would have loved to progress in this competition. But it has finished with a full-time score with 2 second-half tries from Seb Davis and Ben Bolton-Smith of Oakham School 15, Clifton College 3. Conversion and a penalty supplied as well by Josh Lewis and Carwyn Penny, with the only points on the board for Clifton. But Oakham will be in the draw that's coming up in just a few minutes' time for the quarterfinals. Will they get another home draw or will they get an away draw? We will find out very, very shortly. So do stay with us for the live draw of the quarterfinals for the 2016 NatWest Schools Cup quarterfinals coming to you very shortly. But for now, congratulations to Oakham School and commiserations to Clifton College, who've lost out by 15 points to 3.
side. They're all there, just opening up.
Good afternoon once again, and welcome back to our live coverage here of the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy match. Many congratulations to Oakham School, who've overcome Clifton here. Andy, you must be very pleased with the result of that game. It finally came through with those 2 tries in the second half.
Yeah, delighted for the boys, obviously, and commiserations to Clifton. I thought it was a great game of rugby.
Yeah, your thoughts on the game quickly, Matthew?
Yeah, obviously we probably didn't make a great representation of ourselves, but fair play, Oakham put us in positions where we couldn't, and in the end they did deserve the win.
Yeah, okay, well there was a tough stoppage as well, and the rain arrived, so that made things a little complicated, but congratulations once again to Oakham, who were on our live stream of course this afternoon. And now we have the quarter-final draw for you, and Andy Rice is going to be drawing our home sides, and Matthew Salter is going to be drawing our away teams for the quarter-finals of the Schools Cup Champions Trophy. So gentlemen, if I could ask you to get us started without further ado, Andy, let's pick the first home side in the quarter-finals. Of course, the teams in there: Blundell's, Epsom, Eton, Monmouth, Oakham, Tunbridge, Bedford and Canford or Kingswood, who play tomorrow. So let's see who the first home side is going to be. It's going to be Bedford School. So Bedford, who beat St Paul's earlier today by 16 points to 13 in the last minute against St Paul's, and so they are at home, last year's champions, and they will be facing Canford or Kingswood. So that game taking place tomorrow. Quite the statement from Canford, who saw off Marlborough College 57-10. They lost out in round 1 to Blundell's last year. Kingswood have been getting stronger as well, so that game will conclude tomorrow. Our next home tie is Oakham School. So Oakham, you hear by the reaction around me, absolutely delighted to be drawn at home once again. We'll look after those bits of paper, no doubt, as the wind tries to blow them away. Well, Mr. Rice has done the job for the home side. Now then, what is Mr. Salter going to pull? It's Monmouth School. So a cheer from the home side here. Monmouth, who got a bye to this round. They previously beat Radley by 21 points to 13. Promising looking side, having had a high quality team 2 years ago. Things are looking good for this year. Head coach John Bevan, former Wales and British and Irish Lion. Former colleague of yours, there we go. For some extra stats as well. The next home game is Epsom College. Epsom through after a big win at home against St John's Leatherhead by 29 points to 12, although the game was closer than the scoreline suggested. It was hugely physical, that encounter. Cracking game by all accounts. And they will play Blundell's, who put in a great performance to beat Bristol Grammar School 44 points to 19 after a bye into round 2. Former School of Gloucester's Matt Fezzik. And now our last tie. So who's going to be at home? It's going to be Eton. Eton College. They blew away the 2014 finalist Grammar School at Leeds yesterday. And just to conclude affairs, it's Tunbridge who overcame Millfield earlier today by 26 points to 17. So that's Eton College against Tunbridge School. They were winners on the last live stream match in round 1 against Hampton Tunbridge, and now they've done it against Millfield. So let's just see if we can bring you the full rundown of those matches to recap them. Just bear with me one moment. Well, certainly excitement here from Oakham, who've been drawn again at home. While we just wait for that final list to come, well, Mr. Rice, looking forward to your quarter-final match here.
Yeah, very much so. John Bevan's a great coach, and Monmouth will be well coached. But it's nice to be at home, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, there we are. There is the draw now up there, and you can see it is Bedford School against Canford or Kingswood, and then Oakham against Monmouth, Epsom College against Blundell's, and Eton College against Tunbridge School. So plenty to look forward to in the 2016 quarter-finals of the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy. We will decide which of our live streams is going to be covering which games, and we look forward very much to seeing you at the next game. But from all of us here at Oakham, who've been victorious this afternoon, it's a very good afternoon.
Right, job done. Yeah, I should have written them down as I went, so I had them.